Welcome to Ink in the Eyes, episode 3, where myself, Ace McAlpine, and my
Charles
friend
Oliver.
will be talking about. We always talk about graphic novels and also nonsense, but today specifically The Killing Joke, which you claim is a classic. I've never engaged with, so you will be carrying. Maybe.
Do you know?
That's what I've been promised.
Oh, that's fair. I'll take it. I'll take it on the chin. A classic, and it's as old as me. It was published in March 1988. How bonkers is that?
I'm the same age as Google.
That's insane.
I think Google's slightly younger because I want to say December.
That's insane.
Why?
I remember it. I remember it. Yeah, I remember not it obviously starting, but like when it got big and yeah.
Oh, that was definitely after. So tell me what The Killing Joke is about.
So, Batman, The Killing Joke, written by Alan Moore, coloured
and
drawn.
You have it.
By Brian Bolland. So John Higgs did the original colouring. In the 2008 edition, which is what I have right in front of me, Brian Bolland did the colouring. So he did the original art, and now he's done the colouring, which is very different. I'm obviously used to this one. A more muted palette colour scheme, which to deal with the darkness of Gotham and the subject matter. Inked by Richard Starkins. Or lettered, sorry, not inked, lettered. And the reason why I bring that up is because I have been lettering and it's killed me. I didn't realise what a skill that was. And my hats off go to you who lettered Ace Art of Chaos. But when I've been lettering Scavengers, I've realised that I don't know where I was. A lot of my friends are graphic designers or trained in graphic design, and a lot of people know about like typography and font, and I don't know where I was in my life when everybody learnt this information and I didn't.
I learned it in high school. I watched in my journalism class in high school, we watched a documentary on the font Helvetica. And then, if you're familiar with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, there's a bit in it.
Yes.
Jake is saying like, Amy just watched a documentary on something. And she was like, no, I just watched one on the font Helvetica. And I said, I've seen that. And then my mom called me a nerd.
I do know that scene, yeah. Yeah, I have no idea, but it's extremely difficult. He was one of the early pioneers of computer-based lettering as well, which is another interesting fact about him. All three are British. This was part of what's called the British invasion of into America when in the 80s and 90s. Go on.
No, finish your thing and then I'll say mine. Did that include the Beatles?
No.
Okay, the only time I've heard of the British invasion was with One Direction.
Oh. Wow.
But I don't, no, you finish. Keep talking over you and it's nonsense.
No, I'm here for your nonsense. So, yeah, the British invasion was, the baddie Neil Gaiman is in that category. It's basically a lot of 80s and 90s, a lot of British guys went over to America, worked for DC and Marvel and various other ones, but mainly those two. And there was supposed to be quite a change. The reason why it was an important cultural shift is that these guys were good writers who were writing comics, and up until this moment, it had been like very plot driven and very formulaic writing.
What's interesting?
And not very good dialogue. Carry on, please. Yes.
Wait, I circle back to the dialogue. My whole life, my mom, who is going to be a frequent source on this show, always said that the British did storytelling really well. Like if you look at Harry Potter, but the Americans did movies better. Thoughts? rebuttals.
Ooh. You do big. Obviously, there's the budget is there, and
Because J.K. Rowling, I know people hate her, but in terms of this discussion, her writing skill in those books is incredible. I think some of her later books she needs to be edited more, but
yeah,
in the movies she wanted it to be a completely British production, is what I was told, the lore, and the books are better.
yeah,
And I recognize you have
yeah.
to cut a lot out, but yeah. But then when you look at Lord of the Rings, I haven't read the book, but those movies are very
Have you
well
not?
done.
Oh, the book is.
I need to. Actually, Rachel was saying she read it, she really, really enjoyed it, and that made me want to read it because I tried to read it when I was 12, and I think it was a bit
Yeah, if
too
you read it too
much.
young, yeah. It's very hard to read as well. Like it's all like Boromir for son of blah blah blah, son of da da da. It's
Yeah, yeah,
quite
yeah.
difficult. It's hard. It's a heavy read. Um,
Have you read the? This is completely unrelated. The Cimmerian.
no,
Cimmerian. Oh,
I'm
I
going
have
to. I'm
that on my
going to
shelf.
get
I have
it.
The Hobbit too. Oh, you're going to?
I have
Did
read
you
The
say?
Hobbit. I did that in school. No, I didn't. I read it when I was around school age. I think it was a graphic novel actually. I read, so I haven't read it. I read the graphic
Oh,
novel. Um, and read Lord of the Rings, but I've not read anything else. Ah, I
okay.
think I read his. No, I read. That's not true. I read his translation of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, obviously.
Aw. I saw that in a
Yeah.
bookstore and I took a photo to send to you, but I then forgot and
I
just
don't have the
remembered now.
Tolkien version, and I feel like I have. I don't want
Because
any. At
it.
the moment, I don't want any version ever again. But eventually, I will.
Why? Oh, fair. Fair.
Just it's.
It's too
I've been
much.
I've been in it for a lot. I've been in
New, you're in your new era.
that
A
short poem
comic writer era.
for for years now.
Okay, so tell me more about why British people are bad at writing dialogue. That's what I got from your previous
That's the
statements.
opposite of what I said, so that's interesting. No, it was the
Oh, you
British.
said Americans
No,
are bad at dialogue.
no, yes, I was
Who's
saying
bad
that
at dialogue?
right. American comic book writers were formulaic, and they were
Mm.
not necessarily good writers. They were good at writing what a superhero arc should be,
I know this is
and
my team, but that unfortunately sounds about correct.
yeah, and so in the 80s and 90s, a lot of British writers went over there, and artists who were kind of writers first, graphic novel, comic books writers second, and then they had a lot more their wordsmiths. So like they were a lot. Alan Moore being the most famous example. Their dialogue, their story was so much more involved than the characters were more 3 dimensional. Yeah,
I think movies going along the lines of England has a longer literary history, and then the U.S. Started the
the
film
film
industry.
history. Yeah, I think. Go on.
Oh, like TV and film tends to be a lot more formulaic as a
I think
written.
we do raw better than you guys. Like our Shameless, I think is better
Yeah,
than yours,
I haven't seen
and
either, but I believe you.
um, things like When We Saw Dead Man's Shoes, um, uh, and Lock, Stock is an obvious example. Guy Ritchie kind of films, and there's another one, Ali and Ava, which is one of my favorite films. Is I think we do that better. Adolescence, that kind of vibe. The grittier.
When we saw Stephen Page, CEO of Faber and Faber, speak, he said when selling books to the Americans, book rights,
Yeah.
they want a happy ending. And so I think just in general, the American dream is your classic underdog story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think
You love an
culturally,
underdog, and you like a. I mean, it's hilarious because you're present at the moment, but you love a huckster. You love a scammer. You love like a.
like a con man.
If yeah, you love a con man. Like in your literature and your history and now in your politics, like you really like the guy who sticks it to the man kind of thing.
Weird. We do
Yeah.
have a very, very individualistic society because I took a world history, no, global film class. And the American trope is we like to see, like you said, the underdog making it big. It's very individualistic. The team, like going against the team or the man or whatever. But then when you look at a lot of Chinese cinema, and we only did one or two because we were going around to a lot of places, but they were kind of the opposite of classically. They wanted someone who's going to give themselves up for the collective. And we saw some like communism era films.
Interesting.
And so it was basically the complete opposite. And I think a lot of people didn't like the like two films we saw for that. Because it's just the complete opposite of everything
Yeah,
we've
if
ever
it's
seen
not
in
culturally
our
what you're used to, then yeah, totally.
cultural media, marketing, etc.
Yeah, I suppose just as a consumer of more American, I would probably lean into that as well. But yeah, there's a really famous film where the bad guys win from the 90s, and the guy it's a hero, like a cop story, and the hero cop is doing really well, and he's on the tail of the guys, and he thinks he's about, and I can't remember it, but somebody will know. He thinks he's about to. They've run into the FBI building. He thinks he's about to catch them, so he drives in, and they kind of basically run straight out again. And he only just realizes that the bomb is in his car, and he blows up the building, and the baddies win. And you're kind of very shocked because you're like, oh, what? Like, and then the film kind of ends like that's not supposed to happen. The hero's supposed to win. What? It is quite shocking when you're like confronted with something that goes against.
Oh, I have two things. One, slightly irrelevant, but kind of. So last night we were watching a K-drama, and there's 2 episodes left, and so we just read the like little description on Netflix, and it's like the 2 main characters. Do they end up together for eternal happiness, or will they be doomed for it? Because they're like cursed, and I haven't seen the whole thing, but essentially they're cursed, and then in each like life, he's a genie, she's reincarnated as a person. They meet, fall in love, and then are like brutally kind of ripped apart for whatever reason. But my mom was like, "Oh, if it was back in my day, it would be eternal happiness." But you obnoxious Gen Z, you like the sad endings. And I disagreed. However, she started talking about like The Fault in Our Stars, where she's like, a romance for cancer? That's absurd. So
Oh,
we were raised in dystopian, and now we expect more sadness.
Yeah. Maybe that is the case. I'm trying to think though.
Now, this was Korean, which is
And
contrary to...
what happens? Did you read?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I thought you read the synopsis. I thought you'd gone
We
ahead.
did, but the one on Netflix, they don't spoil it. We have 2 episodes left. So in 2 days, ask me.
I will.
It's fun. It's called Genie Make a Wish. It's a little silly, but
Yeah, a little silliness is nice.
it's fun. The other thing I was going to say... Oh, so you said we love a con man.
Yeah.
Who sticking it to the man. Classic example, the Joker.
Yes. Well done. God, great. She's great at segues. So this is a Joker origin story. Now, we're going to get on that in a second. Interestingly, this is not in Alan Moore's list of his best works. He doesn't actually like this. He says it's too violent, and he says it doesn't say much. Now, it is 48 pages, so I think he's
Well,
given
quite
himself
short.
he's not giving himself much by saying it doesn't say much, because there are some topics within it that do come up over 48 pages, but what can you say if you compare it to some of his other works?
Well, even thinking about the one we did was
Yeah.
50 pages, and we, just getting started.
And just getting started. So now that's a really interesting point because, so yes, the interesting part here is that, going back to what you were saying about like you're only just getting started, I think a lot of it can be assumed prior knowledge because it is Batman.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
the first 3 pages, there's no dialogue. There's just him walking into the asylum. And so this is a 9-panel page. So three 9-panel pages and 0 dialogue. However, he walks past a room in the asylum and it says Dent and you can see Two-Face in it, and I was like, oh, a lot of this is like assumed content because 1 panel is all you need to know that Dent is locked up at the moment.
Yes.
And Two-Face is there.
That helps with the franchise.
You kind of know the placement within this scenario simply by knowing about Batman. Because if you pick this up, everybody knows about Batman enough to know like Two-Face and the Joker and that. So I thought that was quite an interesting one. Now, I did compare it to my graphic novel, which I'm going to get over here, which is Ghost Rider, which is written around the same time. It's published in 1991. So only a few years later, and that is completely the opposite. It is like straight in, first page, loads of dialogue, loads of...
Is that written by Alan Moore?
No, this is written by... God, now you're asking. This is written by Howard Mackey.
Oh. I feel like I've heard that name, but I can't place it.
Yeah. So this is episode 2 of Ghost Rider Resurrected.
Now, do you think that's a writer preference?
I think it is totally writer preference, and that's why.
Second question: is this guy British?
That's a very good question. American? I don't think he is. I think he's American.
Because then it might be he wants to jump into the action, which is another that formulaic action rather than pacing.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is.
Interesting.
He's an Americanetsky. Yes, so he is more, and these are all very formulaic, very guns, violent. Do you know what I mean? It's very like, imagine a Ghost Rider comic from the 90s and you've got the picture. It's like revenge and violence and loads of colour. Actually pretty cool. I might read it again. Not read it in a long time.
That's interesting that Alan Moore didn't like The Killing Joke because he thought it was too violent, which, fair enough. But it feels as if he was lured into doing the like more American style of storytelling. And it's like, how did he get drawn into... I mean, I know the Joker is probably a prestigious one to write for, but he is a fairly violent character.
Yeah, he'd written a couple of things, and then him and Brian Bolland were basically asked what they want to do, and they said they wanted to do a villain to make him more... I think the idea was to flesh out and make him a villain 3-dimensional so that you'd care for him a bit. Mm-hmm. But the interesting thing that you just said about the violence, and he does lead into violence, and the reason why he doesn't like it is it has... quite a brutal scene where he shoots somebody in the spine, and the Joker does. The reason why I bring it up is that it is quite an obvious fridging. And we'll do a whole episode on fridging. But fridging is when women in refrigerators... It is...
Excuse me?
Genuinely, that's it. It's where a brutal thing happens to a woman as a plot device to make a man do like move on the plot. So to get the man to do an action, a brutal thing happens to a woman, and it's quite a
Interesting.
not a common trope, but it is like the most obvious ones are like Memento is quite an obvious one.
I can't decide if I hate the trope or it's not that bad. But I don't know anything about it, so I can't have an opinion. I withhold my
So
opinion.
the Gladiator.
I haven't
Gladiator is
consumed.
one. Batman Begins is one. The Bruce Wayne one.
Ah,
The Crow, however,
The Crow? All I can
yeah.
think of is Schitt's Creek when she's in that weird crow movie. But that's not what you're
So
referring to.
The Crow is fucking excellent, and it's very funny because you can tell that we're from different years. Is that the Crow is what you would dress up in Halloween to look hot. Like he's white, but he's kind of like the Joker book monochromatic. So he has like messy hair, black eyeliner, like it's all very emo, goth, like big
Okay.
black lipstick, tight black clothes. Like you look quite. If you were the right body type, you look quite sexy. I never did it, but I probably will do it next year if I hit the gym hard enough because it is a very good Halloween costume. I don't think The Crow is one because, and this is a spoiler, but it's fine because it happens quite early. The lead character also died. The man also dies. So he does take revenge about the
Everyone
woman who's
dies.
killed, but he is also dead. It's a fucking excellent film. They tried to remake it, and I don't know who they were trying to make it for because it's such a cult classic. It would be kind of like remaking Pulp Fiction. Like, just it's
Okay.
some things you just there's no point in touching because you know the fans just are gonna really react badly against it.
It's like The Room, the worst movie ever made.
Yes,
You
yeah. I
could
mean, you
never
couldn't
remake
redo that.
that.
You can never
But
remake
the
that.
quote unquote remake they did was like the backstory behind it.
My friend was talking to me about this the other day. Actually, it's weird that you mentioned that.
Ah.
The documentary, and then there's a documentary about the documentary, and it's just batshit crazy. Apparently, like they hated each other, and they
Oh
were trying to
yeah.
ruin each other, and it was just
Yeah.
violent. Yeah. Whereas I always
Yeah.
thought the room was like people who didn't know what they were doing having a go. I didn't realize that it was actually like,
No. The man was insane.
yeah.
And there was like just insane things happening, yeah, in the background. Yeah.
Just to touch before I move on, because it is everybody knows it, everybody says it whilst it happens. But Brandon Lee, the lead character, is so Bruce Lee's son is tragically
Oh.
murdered in real life in
Yeah.
the film because somebody had a
Oh
loaded
my
gun
god,
on
I've heard
set.
about that. I didn't know it was this film that happened.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's the scene that
Oh wow.
there's the scene he gets shot,
And they just leave that in the
and
movie?
yeah, yeah, yeah. They leave it in the movie. Um,
Classic movie
it's
history.
it's an excellent film, and it's an excellent premise. It's just good. It's just a good, yeah. So I just don't think when the remake, even if they did it amazingly, it's just yeah, you can't redo an essence. You can't redo some things. It doesn't work. I can't think of many more examples, but Public Fiction will be a good one. I suppose
Yeah.
Memento, actually, you couldn't remake Memento. It'd just be
I haven't
like,
seen
why are
it.
you doing this? It was good the first time, lads. But Barbara Gordon is brutally shot,
Oh.
which leads to a few quips by the Joker because she's a librarian and he makes some book jokes, which are awful. I can read you one if you like.
Yeah.
But that wasn't where I was going with this. But I was expecting you to say no, which is why I didn't have them pre-done. I assumed, but as your mother has rightly said, your generation are jaded as fuck. So we're gonna do some jokes
You didn't
at a
think I'd
woman who's
want a
just been
joke?
shot.
Oh. Well, I
Um,
didn't know it was about her death. I thought he was just making
she's
book
not dead.
jokes.
Sorry. So this is a librarian, and it says, See, please don't worry, it's a psychological complaint. Ex-common amongst ex-librarians. She thinks it's a coffee table edition because she's fallen onto the table. Mind you, I can't say much for the volume condition. There's a hole in the spine. There's a hole in the jacket, and her spine appears to be damaged.
That wasn't that funny.
Yeah. So you see his dark humour.
More quippy.
Exactly,
I
did
guess
say
it was
quippy.
good for the character. I
Exactly.
didn't laugh one bit, though.
Good. You weren't supposed to. There's also a really gross scene. Not like that.
Oh, okay.
There's also a really gross scene where they're eating prawns, and I don't know why, or crayfish, and it really, really goes through me.
I'll allow this to be a crustacean-free podcast.
I'm allergic to them, as you damn well know.
Are you? You've accepted that?
Possibly allergic to them. I get sick of them all the time, and was told. So at least they don't agree with me. I'll put it that way. As you know.
That's fine. I do know. Yep.
So, Bruce Hill, part of fridging.
Do they shove women into fridges? Is that why it's called fridging?
I think that is where the thing comes from. I think it comes from a cartoonist or a graphic novel writer, and she said it when she was working at DC. Not about this comic, but I think there was a spate of just like brutally attacking women. I want to say it was the Green Lantern.
Oh.
And I can't remember what episode, but there's an episode of the Green Lantern. I think they put her in a fridge, and it tells and then the Green Lantern does his thing, and it's like that. You should probably have done it before then. They were a baddie before now. They didn't need to do that before you did. You got off your arse, basically. So yeah,
I'll accept that. It's an explanation.
So this is the Joker origin story. I won't go too much into it to spoil it. But, however, I do want to raise an interesting point. The Joker says in the comic, I'm not exactly sure. Sometimes we're talking about his past. He does his flashback and talking about his past. He's like, I'm not exactly sure. Sometimes I remember it one way, sometimes another. If I'm going to have a past, I prefer it to be multiple choice.
So they can make a different story.
Well, exactly. So it leads on to The Dark Knight, and it leads on to the Joker film. So it allows other writers to have a crack at this Joker origin story, which I think is really interesting.
Similar to the movie?
No, not at all. He's so this is based on the idea of one bad day, and all it takes is one bad day, and any sane person will lose their mind.
Oh, God.
Because he said, the Joker says, so this is a Joker, so it's not a, it's a unreliable narrator, but he basically says that it's the only sane thing that you can do after a day like this is go mad. Like that's your respite. That's your place of of rest and sanctuary, is to go insane.
Strength of mind. I would argue I've had more than one bad day.
Well, this is
and
the
I
thing.
haven't gone insane.
You haven't gone insane, not yet.
I haven't
this
seen
the thing
any
is,
women murdered though.
no.
Really
Well, his wife it dies, and the same day he gets framed for a crime job. Which he's not a criminal, but he needs to get money for his wife and kid, and then his wife and kid die tragically, and he gets pushed into a chemical silo.
Oh,
chemicals. I could do a comparative literature thing on chemical plants in this podcast. So yeah, the idea of one bad day can turn a rational man insane.
Okay, that's not just a bad day. That's, you have a terrible day, your entire family's murdered, and then you're fallen into a vat of toxic waste.
Exactly. It's all bad.
Okay. Did you like this or the movie more?
The movie. So I've only seen the Joker of the first one, I thought it was very uncomfortable, which is what you're supposed to feel. I remember really liking it.
Oh, I did not like it at all. I can see why
Really?
people think it was well made. Hated it though. It's just not for me. I
In
don't
what
go to the
respect?
movie to feel uncomfortable. I go
That's
to the
fair.
movie for escapism. If I
Escapism,
wanted to
and that
feel
isn't it? Yeah.
uncomfortable, I'd turn on the news.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it was a
I can see why, again, people thought it was really well made,
yeah.
but I did not like it.
I was surprised both of them did the second. I'm surprised that not both of them weren't in the first, but I'm surprised that he did a second and Lady Gaga was in the second. I would have thought they'd look at it and go, no.
Why?
Why? Because it turned out awful, and they're both
Oh, the
quite
second one.
respected people. Yeah,
Oh, I heard nothing about it, but I guess clearly
that's
it wasn't as
what I
big.
mean. It was released in 2024, and you've heard nothing about it.
Oh, I knew
It
it
was
came out. I was also
slated
in.
5.2 IMDb.
Oh, I
It's
was
a
also
musical, I think.
in. It's a musical.
I believe
That's
so.
strange.
I've never, like I
That
say,
I
I've
had no
never
idea.
There's a lot of musical in it, but the musical transformation was criticised for disrupting the original's dark tone.
Oh yeah, that would. Yeah,
That would definitely do that. Do it.
that's interesting because they said the same thing about the Willy Wonka, that they didn't market it as a musical, and so everyone was surprised. But they didn't market it as a musical because musicals don't always do well. But then people went and were like, "This is a musical," and were annoyed.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was quite good. Now,
No, I thought it
the
was fun too,
original,
but I was going for like a fun, non-serious, because we saw it the day
yeah.
after we saw what's that, Saltburn, and so we were like, we need
Oh
a
Jesus, fuck
palate
yeah, that's
cleanser.
heavy. Yeah, I thought that was such a good film, and a lot of people didn't like it, and I really did.
Yeah, you like the warped ones.
Yeah, maybe that's true.
That's my comparison. I haven't read The Killing Joke, but if you like Saltburn, it sounds like you'd like this comic.
This comic, that's a good comparison. Fair enough. I'll take
Thank
that.
you.
The interesting thing is there's a similarity between the film and this Killing Joke is that they're skinny, and the reason why I bring that up is because I know Joaquin Phoenix did it because the drugs that he should be on in the film really like reduce your muscle mass and reduce your weight, so he wanted to kind of portray that. But in a world where superheroes and supervillains are ginormous, I think it's interesting that he went down this vein.
But I would
Because
argue
they're huge. Go on,
his
argue against it.
character wouldn't. I don't know a lot about the Joker. I like the one in Heath Ledger in The Batman, but I think in every other adaptation, I haven't liked the Joker.
Yeah, but if you remember Heath Ledger, he's not slight. Like he's a built guy. Like he's not
That's true,
massive,
that's
but
true.
he looks good. I mean, it's fucking Heath Ledger. He looks great. Like, but yeah, in this and the comic, he's quite skinny and scrawny, which for like a supervillain is very interesting direction to go in this day and age, I think.
Yeah. I was going to say about his character, he doesn't seem like the type to, because he's anti-establishment, so he's not going to, hit the gym,
Yeah,
get steroids,
yeah.
kind of work on himself in the way that we would imagine superheroes would. Versus, like, there are some quote-unquote meathead supervillains
Yeah.
that win
I
through
thought-
pure strength versus his MO is more chaotic versus just
Chaotic,
physical
yeah.
strength or anything physical, really.
Funny you say that, actually. Now I'm just thinking Batman in the Dark Knight, the Joker scene in that, very little dialogue at the start with the bank robbery. Is that the Dark Knight or the Dark Knight
It's
Rises?
so long ago I saw it.
So long ago. I'm so terrible with the names of the Batman films. But apart from, and I was going to say, one of the best villains, and I don't know whether everybody hates it, Robert Pattinson, the Batman. Fucking
I haven't seen
excellent
that.
film. Oh my
And
god,
because
it's
you
so
said that,
good.
it made me want to, but I don't know what it's streaming on.
It's so good. Gets a little bit far-fetched at the end, tiny bit, but up until then it's amazing.
Have you seen the new Superman?
No.
I want to.
See, I always thought Superman was. I always thought it was boring because I was like, well, he's
I
just
did too.
indestructible
And
apart
so
from
they tried
kryptonite.
to
Like, it's,
make the Henry Cavill one. They tried to make him dark and brooding like the Batman, because everyone loves Batman, but I think that made the Superman even worse.
yeah,
But this one didn't look as broody, so that's why I was curious. But I also heard
interesting.
it was liberal propaganda. That's what the Republicans are saying.
Liberal propaganda.
Yeah, they think it's supporting, I don't know if I should say this, but they think
Go ahead.
it is, there's undertones of supporting Palestine. I haven't seen it, so I don't
That
know.
that sounds far-fetched, but I'm
Yep.
curious as to know what
Yep.
it is.
That was my thought as well. And then the Fantastic Four, they're saying, is conservative propaganda because it's very much like family values. This is the kind of family you have. Drop everything to have children, etc. Again, I haven't seen that one either, and the trailers looked boring. But
Yeah,
it's
I
interesting
never.
that,
That was another one where I was like, they're just a boring group of people
yeah.
who didn't really have anything about it. Middle East newspaper. Palestinians are not waiting for a white superhero savior. There we go.
Oh, God.
I will read more about that. That is fascinating.
Like I said, I think it is. No, I didn't say. What I was about to say is I do think it's just tensions are high and people want to fling anything at each other.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't even have a superhero film without it being somewhat political. But
So you told me this was a classic.
so
What?
this led on to, and I
Oh, I had a
have
question.
brought her up multiple times. Barbara Gordon, brutally paralysed. She was Batgirl. Dun, 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 dun,
You know, I
dun.
read some of Batgirl and I really liked it. That's
Well,
sad
they
she died.
retired her in 1988.
That was
and
foolish
so-
of them.
This is kind of put into place. So she was retired before, and so I think Alan Moore was kind of like, well, I'm going to kind of, from what I
Sure.
understand, from what I've read, it's kind of was like, well, I'm going to make a story of why she was retired. However, she does after this become the Oracle. And the Oracle, if you don't know, she's like in a wheelchair, but she's kind of like a spook, I suppose you call them. Like she's the computer knowledge, all the information person.
Glad
Thought
I
you'd
gave
like
her a
that little
second
fact.
life. I do like
Yeah.
that fact. Thank you. I was going to ask, what do you think makes a classic?
That's a good question.
Because it can't be just age. It's essentially it's not even what has withstood the age. Because some of the
So
classics
first-
I only read because of school.
Firstly, the art in this is fantastic, like amazing. The story starts and ends in the same panel, which is excellent story writing, I think. So if you don't do The Innocent Man and you just read to the end, it starts with raindrops on a black street and ends same raindrops on a black street. I'm pretty sure it is actually the exact same panel. It also kind of, I know Alan Moore says it doesn't raise questions, but I do think it does. There's an ambiguous ending towards it where Joker tells a joke and the Batman and Joker both laugh at it, and then you see the Batman pick up the Joker and you're wondering whether he kills him or whether he doesn't. And so throughout the story, the Batman's like, this is only going to end with one of us dying. You know that, right? You need to stop or something bad is going to happen to one of us. And I hope it doesn't happen, basically. So I think it becomes a classic not just because it was voted one of like the Batman's like public opinion, but I do think it tries to humanize a baddie and humanize a superhero.
They do that a lot in superhero movies now. Look at Loki.
They do it now, but this
So-
was quite big.
Yeah.
37 years ago.
I don't know if it was the first time, but if it did start that trend or make people think, that actually makes a lot of sense why it would be important to storytelling
Yes.
history.
I think that is, I don't want to say the first because I'm sure it's not, but it's very early version of, oh, he's a baddie. You still see it now. It's like, oh, he's a baddie and he wants to end the world. And it's like, but why? Why do they want to do that? I mean, in Thor Ragnarok, they still, was it Ragnarok? No, not Ragnarok. The one before Dark. I don't know, one of the forgettable ones. But like they just what the evil people wanted to plunge the universe into darkness. It's like, yeah, but why? Do they benefit for darkness? Like, does it help their skin? Is it like the sun for us and like their vegetation grows and their food? Like there needs to be more than just they want the universe in darkness. That's a shit reason. Like you give me something more, I think. Whereas this is lead you into being like, oh, okay, does this happen? Does this not happen? Is this a reason why? It obviously isn't, but it gives a bit of backstory to why he's so messed up.
Nice. I'd consider
Yes.
reading it now.
And then the last part, because obviously every Joker origin story has to finish with
Him burning money.
the greatest of all Joker origin stories, the Mexican Joker from the South Park.
What?
Don't tell me you haven't seen that episode. It's the best episode
I've
ever.
That episode.
Oh,
I've seen the
man.
Mormon one. And the
You
one
should.
they did about
You should
Trump.
watch this episode because it is so good and so relevant to now. Basically, it's when ICE were locking up kids, and Kyle walks in and is like, Kyle manages to speak to one of the officers and is like, dude, you know, like, this is going to only cause resentment with these children against America. They're going to hate it. And he's like, I don't understand what you mean. He's like, okay, let me say it. It's like, you idiots, so you idiots can understand it. You're creating a Joker. And everybody's like, oh, there's a Mexican Joker? Oh my God, which Mexican Joker is it? And it is the funniest episode of like how ICE works. Well, I know they did another episode of ICE, but like it's just shows the ludicrous nature of locking up children and treating them as dogs in a pound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make
So
a good point.
I'd urge you to watch that because it is fucking excellent. Tell me.
No. You said
Any
you wanted to
thoughts,
end off
feelings?
on the Mexican Joker. Do you have a comparison of a book?
Do I have a comparison of a book?
If you like this book, you like this graphic.
What was yours again?
Saltburn.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Because that's a good anti-hero story.
Yeah, I feel like even him dancing through the mansion has big Jokers.
Yeah,
Dancing
big
on
Joker
burning
vibes.
money.
He'd be a very good Joker, actually. I think he is, isn't he? The Joker? Oh, I think he is the Joker, actually.
In what?
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
I think he was supposed to be the Joker, and then it was the other guy who's evil. And did a really bad
There's
job
a lot
of it.
of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. 30 Seconds to Mars.
I don't know.
Terrible actor. Method.
Jared Leto?
Jared Leto. Yes.
Is
Thank
that
you.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, in Suicide Squad?
Yeah, he was the Joker in Suicide Squad. Wasn't
I
he?
didn't. The guy who did Saltburn, I don't think I was
Brian,
really
okay.
aware of him until around then. Like when he did that movie.
No, he did
something
a
else.
few things before. I know he did. Jesus Christ, my mind's gone. It's late. He did nominated for an Oscar, Staten Island, Banshees of Inisherin. But yeah, he would be a good Joker.
Oh, Okay. Yeah, he would be a good Joker. On that note,
On that note, my dear friend,
thank you for talking to me about a new comic.
thank you for talking to me.
I've
Thank you for
forgotten how to
listening,
exit.
everyone, as well.
Thank you for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe on whatever platform you might be indulging us in. If you have any more ideas, because we're still finding our voice and format. So if you have any thoughts, positive reinforcement works best for this podcast. But if you have any other comments or suggestions, with kindness, please feel free to engage. And thank you very much.
Bye.